Came out here bright and early this morning. We're gonna try to make a run for all the cameras today. I'm not sure that it's gonna happen because some of these are pretty far back in there, but we just checked the first one and there was 20 pictures on it. Summertime, I feel like that's decent. It hasn't been out terribly long. I feel like several of these pulls are gonna be really good and we're excited. It's a good morning. And that dove just scared the crap out of me. Make a scrape right here in front of this camera. It's about that time of year. You know, honestly, around here we don't see a ton of scrapes, and especially this early. But I think if we get one started, we've seen in the past where we get one started pretty early. Sometimes it's beneficial in front of these cameras. So what I'm going to do right here is crush up some of this grass. It's not very pungent, but kind of clean my hands just a little bit. And I'm going to break off a limb over here for as a licking branch above this scrape. What I've started doing every time I swap out an SD card out of a camera is I turn it upside down. I'm a little card holder. You can get these on Amazon for like $7 and they're pretty nice to have. But I've been having a hard time keeping up with which cards I've used and which ones I haven't. So I now just turn every card that we pull upside down and every card that's good to go is right side up. And I always just format these as soon as we put them in the camera just to know they're wiped. But at least this way I know I'm not going to use this card again today. Get her done. Let's go. I hunted a few sits out here last year. This is a really big piece of property. And actually, one of my hunts was kind of late in the afternoon. The best I could do with this was this willow tree back here. And I had a doe come right through this little alley right here. And just trying to get the camera set up and everything, I didn't really have a great shot and I didn't want to rush it on a doe. I didn't need the meat that bad, so I didn't take the shot. But we just created a scrape right here. We're hoping that as it gets more near to the rut, that we're going to see a lot more action moving back and forth through here and pick up bucks on this scrape right here. Without a scrape here last year, we picked up some mature buck action right here in October and November. So pretty exciting. We're going to move on and go pick up this camera and see what's hanging out further down here.
Here it is, middle of September, and I found a shed. It's got a good base on it, but I think it's a 6. I wonder if it's an old buck.
Dude, that looks awesome. That looks like a old nasty.
Gnarly shed, dude. Like,
that's a buck, dude.
I wonder if that's toad body.
It might be, dude.
Okay, where would we want to use it? There's 20 pictures on here.
That's not good.
Old bridge is like down in there. Oh man.
As these public land pools tend to go here in Texas, we're a little bit disappointed that there's only really 20 takes on this camera. It's at a pretty good water hole with a lot of traffic and a lot of tracks and everything. We thought we'd have a lot more. We got it on 6 photo burst and it had 120 pictures, so it's not that many takes. We're gonna move it up about 10 feet here in hopes that kind of as the water has receded this summer, maybe it's not setting off at that distance. So we're gonna move it up, point it directly at where it looks like the majority of the wildlife is taking water, and hope for the best when we come back here probably in October or something. What does that look like to you?
walking through here saying that every little persimmon tree in this grove, or glade, however you want to say it, should have a scrape on it. And what is it, September 7th? And like not 10 seconds later, found this right here. First natural scrape we found of the season, but pretty sweet. I always try to keep just a camera in my backpack, a trail camera, no matter what, for situations like this, because now we're gonna put a camera on this scrape and hopefully pick up this dude or his grandson. What's weird is that we, on the way in here, made a mock scrape not 60 yards from here. So I think that was appropriately positioned, I would say. So I'm gonna freshen this guy and then hang that camera right over there. Last year, Tyler and I were burned pretty bad on a ground scent situation on a late season hunt. Something I'm gonna start doing is just unclipping that chest strap of my backpack and then working right out of it like here, like it's a papoose pouch. But it might look kind of silly, but I think it's gonna be handy in keeping these sweated up backpacks off the ground, especially when we're in like a really high deer density or deer use area, and we wanna do our best to keep the ground scent out of the situation. If I can find everything I've got in here. Set road interval is 10 seconds.
Hot tip for you: when you pee in a scrape in front of a camera, make sure you're peeing away from the camera.
This trail is heavy, headed straight to this plum tree right behind me. There's very few fruits on the ground, and there's none in the tree, which means I think these deer have been hitting this thing hard in the past couple weeks. There's also a brand new rub, probably 20 yards that way up the trail. We've got a camera about 50 yards up that way that hopefully we're getting some of this movement on.
Last year we had a scrape right here on this tree, and it did really well. And I think what we're gonna do is open up this scrape again, see if it'll start drawing deer to the area, and we can get some pictures of bucks as we near October here. Wonder when those come off. I got water, acorns, and lots of does.
We're always trying to hang our camera at the most advantageous spot to catch deer. That doesn't mean the best trees are there. So when you're forced into trying to find a tree to hang a camera on that might be a little bit thinner, like some of these in this little grove are, be sure you select one that's, for one, sturdy at the base, but for two, doesn't have too much of a leaf top or is too much by itself to where the wind's gonna blow it a lot. We've had that problem in the past where any little breeze at all moves the tree, and then you end up with pictures that are all framed all different, and you know that that tree was moving in the wind, sitting off the camera. So something like this, good and sturdy, might not be a bad idea to hang a little bit lower as opposed to higher in the tree. You'll get less motion. Oh, there's something. It's a wide deer. Who's that?
I don't know, it's a different deer, isn't it?
Is that a hardhorn deer?
It's so hot. There's no wind. Humidity, 100%. Temperature, 96. Brutal. September 7th. But you're probably going to get some cool pictures, and I'm excited about that. So let's go.
It's mock scrape season. We got one set right here. Got a camera behind us. This whole little slough we're on right here. There's like probably, with no exaggerations, 15 rubs up and down this slough from last season. So a great pre-rut and rut activity area. Set up a mock scrape, camera about 10 yards from it. Got it set for a 5-shot burst on a quick recovery time, hoping to get a lot of bucks. There's also a really well-used trail right here, right behind the scrape, so this thing should get a lot of action. What else is cool is that the first thing we saw when we started going down that slough is a fawn running right across the way there. And that scrape is probably 80 yards from where we picked up those big bucks last time we were checking. It's gonna be right up here too. It is not as cool as it was supposed to be today. We are about 3/4 of a mile in, about 300 yards from our last camera, and we got a podcast in 18 minutes. We gotta hoof it. We're doing our best.